Hello. Hi, Michelle. You're the first person on here. I don't know if anybody else is going to make it, but can you hear me okay? I think my mic, I plugged this mic in. Is it working? Are you able to hear my audio? Okay. Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to give it just a little bit to see if anybody else is coming on. I need to do this like 24 hours in advance to give everybody a notice. Okay, let me mute really quick. I'm going to get the link so I can put it in the Facebook chat really quick. Let me see. Okay, let me go add this to Facebook really quick. Let me edit that and let me see. Edit. I hope I should add it in the comment section, or I just need to edit the post. There we go. Edit post. Okay. Okay, I put the link on the Facebook post. That's where I put it for everybody to see. Okay, let's see. And Michelle, I was trying to text you back. For some reason, my text messages aren't going through. But yes, to the question you asked, I am able to see those. Okay. Okay, let me pull up some other stuff that we're going to look through. Let me see. Just messaging everybody. No, why are my messages not going out? Okay. Let me pull up the other stuff for Nancy's case so we can look over that. Let me see. Insta. Mm. Hi, Melinda. Give everyone a chance to come in and pulling up stuff for that other case we're going to look into too. I know it's super full. I may not see y'all's comments. I'm just kidding. I'm glad y'all made it. The second case that we're looking into after the updates with Matthew and Savanah is like really a strange one. It's going to make everybody very mad. Okay. I'm just pulling up some other documents and giving everyone a chance to come in. I know it's super cold. How cold is it over there where you're at right now? I don't know. I think it warmed up a little bit here. Let me see. Oh, it's 28 degrees. It felt super cold yesterday, but today the sun's out, so it doesn't feel that bad. I can't believe it's 28, but we got a little bit of snow yesterday that there's ice. It stuck to the ground and then it melted. Noel was mad because he wanted it to freeze over and cancel school tomorrow. So I'm like, sorry, you're going to school tomorrow. Okay, let's see. 24. Yeah. Is the sun out or it's just like gloomy and cloudy? Oh, really? Lucky. Did y'all get more snow or did it kind of already melt today? Or it's still snowing over there? I'm sorry. That's awesome. I wish they would cancel school here. It'd be nice to have an extra day to sleep in a little bit. Yeah, same here. It didn't snow too much, but last night it was coming down pretty thick and then it just stopped. Hi, Daisy. I'm so glad y'all were all able to make it. Just giving a little bit for everybody to come in little by little so we can go over the affidavit that came out for her arrest and some other updates. If y'all see like anything or have found any like TikToks or videos or anything, if you want to put them in the chat or you can text them to me, we can go look over like those updates and stuff that's happening because I'm starting to see some weird stuff going on with the Matthew and Savanah case. Somebody's talking about like a cult or something. I don't know yet. I haven't even looked into that yet. Let me see. I don't know what that has anything to do with anything, but that's what some YouTubers are talking about. Let me see. Or it looks like a cult is harassing the family. Oh, let me see. La Luz del Mundo cult attacks Savanah Soto's family. I don't know what that is. Let me see.
Y'all can hear me. Welcome everybody. Greetings. Thank you for being here. I hope you guys are staying warm. I'm hearing.
It says La Luz del Mundo cult attacks Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra's stepmother attack on social media. Matthew Guerra's stepmother post on social media about cult La Luz del Mundo. I don't know. Have y'all heard that? Let me see. Down the Rabbit Hole covered it. She's really good. So I'm just looking to see what she said because they just posted like an hour ago about this. And shout out to Down the Rabbit Hole. She's really awesome. I'm going to see where this post is so we can look at that.
Yes, I was born and raised it. Makes a video about my son, daughter-in-law, and grandson.
Okay, it's on the stepmom's, Matthew's stepmom, Raquel, her Facebook. She's talking about it. Okay, let me see if I can pull that up on Facebook really quick. What is, oh yeah, Guerra, let me see. Is she, no, I don't know if that's her. Let me see. Getting flowers for our daughter-in-law, Savanah. Oh, here it is. Okay, let me share my screen on Facebook. I saw an HBO documentary on wisdom. What is that? So it's like a church group? There's a documentary about them on Netflix. Huh. So there's one on Netflix and then there's one on HBO about La Luz del Mundo. I'm gonna have to check those out. So are they like what? Hey. Thank y'all all so much for being here. Y'all are like half my audience. I appreciate y'all. Actually, y'all are all my audience. Got to start somewhere. So we're just talking about Matthew's stepmom. She's getting harassed by this cult, this group, and Michelle and Melinda both said that there is a Netflix documentary about this group. Melinda said there's one on HBO called La Luz del Mundo, or about that group. That's what they're called. Apparently, they're attacking Matthew's stepmom. It's some cult group. So we're going to look at that Facebook post that she posted to see what's going on with that, because I hadn't heard about that. That was just breaking right now on some other YouTube channels. So let me share my screen on, think Scientology type stuff. Ooh, that's scary. I wonder what they're like telling her, or what they would have any opinion on in this case. Okay, let me share my Facebook screen. Hold on. Let me see. Present. Stop screen. Okay. And present. Share screen. Facebook. Okay. Y'all see that? Okay. Let me go to Facebook. All right. Here's Matthew's stepmom, Raquel. She puts, as if what we're dealing with is enough, I find out that the cult I was born and raised in, oh wow, makes a video about my son, daughter-in-law, and grandson saying I deserve what happened to us. What kind of religion is that? It makes me sick to my stomach. Why do they do this? Why do they harass everyone that speaks up about their pedo leader, Nissan Joaquin Garcia? This is just disgusting. They should be ashamed of themselves. This so-called church, La Luz del Mundo, aka the light of the world, does not practice love. It practices hatred. Go watch all of the documentaries out there, Netflix, HBO. Look, that's what y'all were talking about. And soon in the US by the A&E channel, also where I publicly spoke up first on Brian Ross Law and Crime channel. Stay away from this evil cult. Also, if you would like more information regarding this cult, head on over to Reddit and search EXLLDM and exposing LLDM. Oh, wow. What is going on? That's horrible. Por presunta venta de drogas. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, venta de droga. So they're saying here, so nacen el hijo y la nuera embarazada de la EXLLDM Raquel Guerra. Oh, so they're saying like what happened to Matthew and Savanah, and that this is the stepson of Raquel. Revelations and impacts. Did I read that right? Thank you for saving those comments. This is insane. That's horrible to say that they deserve that. How come they don't say es castigo de Dios, Nasan? But they will pay when they meet with God. They think they're saved, but they're actually going through two judgments. For people wanting to know why the church cult, the light of the world, would make such an evil video about our children, this is why. Brian Ross investigates. So we need to go check that out. This incident should be on the news. So many people will be aware of this cult. What are they saying here? Un tiempo en hablar de un inocente, nuestros valores y su hijo. This is horrible. Let me see if I can click on this link so we can see what she tagged in her post. This is so sad. Okay, let me see. Can y'all still see the Facebook thing? Okay, let me read the comments real fast. I said hi to Daisy like 5 times. Dios no castiga. Hi, Monica. Thank y'all so much for being here. Ooh, Mansfield, Texas. My family lives there too. I love Mansfield. I miss it. This case keeps getting more and more weird. It really does. All I know is that all I know is it was a lot of pedo, the word, with young girls, and they have been doing this for centuries. Oh my gosh, that is disturbing to say the least. Michelle, let me know what you find on Reddit. If we need to go over to Reddit to go find out who this group is, we can definitely do that. When we look at her thing that she tagged on here, let me see. I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna see if y'all can see this. Hold on. So this is the video that this cult group made about the unaliving of Matthew and Savanah, and saying that it's Rachel's stepson. So anybody just joining, we're looking into this cult group that is attacking Matthew's stepmom and saying that they deserved what happened to Matthew and Savanah. We're just finding this stuff out right now, so we're all researching and just looking into this group. There's apparently some Netflix, HBO documentaries, and then his stepmom said there's also one on A&E about this group called Hold on, let me go back to it. La luz del mundo, so the light of the world in English. And apparently they made a video, I guess, discussing this case and talking about, really showing his past and all of that, which is just horrible. Family's already dealing with enough. They don't deserve that at all. So we're going to watch this clip and see what they're talking about. So it's like a 2-hour video on YouTube. Looks to me like they are saying this is what happened to them for trafficking drugs. Wow. I mean, that's what it seems like they're doing, is just saying basically, look at the lifestyle he was leading and this is what happens, which is horrible. I mean, for a church group or whatever, you would think they wouldn't be so judgmental, but I've seen a lot of church groups that are like the most judgmental people I've ever met in my life. So who are they at the end of the day? That's horrible. Let me see. Okay, let me know if y'all can see this. Let me see. No, that's not sharing that. Okay, let me share that YouTube thing real quick. We won't watch the whole thing, but just some of it to see what they're saying. Let me stop screen and present again. There it is. So it looks like it's in Spanish. Let me see if y'all can hear it. Hold on. This is what the stepmom put on her Facebook page, so I'm just trying to see what this is.
Así es que vamos a abordar, tenemos muchísimo material.
They're talking about it on somebody's podcast from that group, I guess.
Muchísimo material del cual les vamos a mostrar el día de hoy, qué es lo que ha surgido, también qué ir. Entonces, apóstata LLDM, ingresa, se te hace la cordial invitación con respeto para que de teatro, él se presentó nada más y nada menos que en un recital, él cantando como documento, y entre ustedes y yo vamos a analizarlo. ¿De dónde este joven de 22 años, que no se graduó, que no tiene un título universitario?
So he's saying Matthew was a 22-year-old. He didn't graduate, didn't achieve anything else. Hold on.
Ni siquiera tenía un trabajo
didn't have a job.
Estable, o si hubiese tenido un trabajo, no creo que el salario mínimo o un poco más del mínimo le diera para presumir esta cantidad de dinero en las redes sociales.
Basically, he doesn't believe that he had a job that was paying him the amount of money that he was showing on his socials. So all this money here, he's like, what type of job did he have where he had this amount of money?
No creo que él podía solventar todo eso, y lo podemos ver lo que él mismo publicaba en sus redes sociales.
We can see what he published on his social media.
Exponiéndose él, exponiendo a su joven esposa.
Exposing themselves on the internet.
Aquí lo estamos viendo nuevamente con grandes pacas de billetes, de dólares. Y la interrogante para ustedes, querida audiencia, es: ¿de dónde sacaba él el dinero?
Where did he get this money from?
¿De dónde él obtenía ese dinero?
Where did he obtain that money?
¿Esto es libertad? Yo te pregunto, querida audiencia, ¿esto es libertad, la que tanto nos presumen los ex-LDM? Tú como padre irresponsablemente dejar a la deriva a tus hijos y ver mal que una iglesia instruya a tus hijos para ser buenos cristianos?
So it sounds like basically he's just saying, like, you know, you fixing to become a father should have like gotten more involved in the church, or had, you know, for your child to grow up in the church, to have good Christian values. So basically I see what the stepmom is saying. They're just being very judgmental to the situation and everything that they were involved in, which is just horrible. But if y'all want to watch that is on Raquel's Facebook. It looks like it's 2 hours long, where this guy is just ranting away about them, which is just horrible. I mean, regardless of what they were involved in, I mean, they didn't deserve that, you know, that outcome. I get it, but it's just wrong. You can hear it. Okay. That's what happened. Yeah, that's just horrible. Let me see. Okay, let me bring up the affidavit so we can read over that. We can come back and like kind of scroll through that video again. It's a long one. Okay, let me make this bigger and share that screen. I think he's trying to say mom left the church and this is what happens to him. Oh, the stepmom, when she left the church, like basically that's what happens. That's, oh my gosh, that's still not okay. I wonder how she got involved with them. They sound like scary people to be involved with. I'm gonna have to go check out those documentaries on that group for sure. Okay, let me share this screen. Where the affidavit is. PDF. Okay. So here's the affidavit for the arrest of Myrta. Okay. So same as the other one, it says they'll be referring to Savanah as victim 1 and Matthew as victim 2. Again, they still haven't added the baby as victim 3, but you know, there's 3 victims. An actor in this case has been identified as Myrta Romanos, date of birth August 7th, 1976, hereinafter referred to as the defendant. Said defendant is further identified in SAPD computer files under, there's her case number. It is the belief of your affiant that the offense of tampering with evidence, alter, destroy, conceal human corpse was committed on or about the 21st day of December 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. Your affiant has probable cause for said belief by reason of the following facts. So here we go. On December 23rd, 2023, Leon Valley police received a call from a missing persons report. Family of the missing person stated that she was supposed to be induced for her pregnancy and did not show up for appointment. The family advised that they had not been able to get a hold of the female and stated she was not answering her phone. A check of the hospitals was conducted by the family, and it was found that the female was not at any of the hospitals, and it was found that the female lived with her boyfriend. However, the family of the boyfriend advised they were not able to get in touch with him as well. The female was entered as a missing person by Leon Valley. And I'm just reading this part. I know everybody's pretty caught up, but just in case anybody's not, you know, the dates and when Savanah and Matthew were reported missing and all of that. So further investigation found that the female and her boyfriend were not responding to any phone calls and their whereabouts were unknown. Media broadcast on the news the story of the missing female and her boyfriend in the media. The boyfriend's car description was broadcast in the media and was said to be a 2013 gray Kia Optima. Let me see. Just making sure y'all can see that. Sorry. Okay. On December 26, 2023, a resident of 5903 Danny K Drive messaged the family of the female and advised them that they believed the vehicle was parked at 5903 Danny K Drive. The family contacted Leon Valley and drove to the location. Upon Leon Valley police arrival to the location, Leon Valley police observed the vehicle. Inside of the vehicle was a deceased pregnant female in the front seat and a deceased male in the back seat of the vehicle. San Antonio police were contacted. Your affiant made the location. Upon arrival to the location, your affiant observed the vehicle. The vehicle was a 2013 Kia Optima with Texas plate. Your affiant checked the VIN number, and the VIN number was the same VIN number that was broadcast in the news for the missing couple. A check of the information through the NCIC TCIC showed the vehicle belonged to the missing boyfriend of the female. Your affiant observed the front right passenger side of the vehicle. Your affiant observed a deceased pregnant female inside of the right passenger seat. Due to your affiant knowledge of the female on a previous murder case from 2022, your affiant recognized the female to be that of the missing female. The female appeared to have trauma to her head. And this part, again, for anybody who's not aware, the officer that recognized Savanah was familiar with her and her family because the year prior, her brother had been shot and killed. Also, they were in court before, and the person who shot her brother, I believe her brother was 15, went to court for the trial and everything. And the boy who murdered her brother was, throughout the whole trial, it was said that he was turning around and smirking and like just making faces at Savanah's family. So this day he turned around, he smirked at them or blew a kiss or something, and Savanah's other two brothers got mad. They jumped the pews and they went and attacked the killer. They got him pretty good, and then they, escorted the murderer out of the courthouse. So that's where there was those theories, if you had heard any of those, that maybe it was payback due to that incident occurring in the courtroom. So that's where that was coming from and why that officer recognized Savanah. So, okay. Then it says your affiant observed the front right passenger side of the vehicle. Your affiant observed a deceased. I just read that part. That she had trauma to her head. Sorry. Your affiant then observed the back seat of the vehicle. Your affiant observed a deceased male in the back seat of the vehicle. The deceased male resembled the boyfriend to the female. The male had an apparent gunshot wound to his head. It appeared the male had been dragged into the vehicle. Your affiant did not observe any weapon near the male. The search was requested so entry into the vehicle could be conducted. While waiting for the search warrant, your affiant spoke to the families of the female and male. It was found that the boyfriend to the female sold narcotics and would use his phone through cellular communication as well as social media to sell narcotics. It was also advised that the boyfriend would post money and narcotics on Instagram. It was stated that the people wanted to rob the boyfriend, and it was stated that the boyfriend had been shot at before. The family provided your affiant with the phone number of the female. The family of the male provided your affiant with his phone number as well as his Instagram. When the search warrant arrived at the location, search of the vehicle was conducted. The search found spent shell casings in the vehicle. However, there was no weapon recovered in the vehicle. There was apparent blood transfer on the outside of the vehicle that was not consistent with the boyfriend causing harm to the female, because there was that theory that he possibly hurt Savanah and then unalived himself after he did that to Savanah, which we all know that wasn't the case, but they didn't know what they were looking at first. So both the female and male had gunshot wounds to the head, and the male also had an apparent drag marks on his back. It was believed that the female and male were killed at a different location, and then the vehicle was driven to the recovered location. During further investigation, your affiant found video surveillance footage at 5903 Danny K. The video surveillance found that on December 21st, 2023, around 23:59 hours, a Chevy Silverado gray driving with its lights off from the vehicle recovered location. The Silverado pulled to the middle of the back parking lot and parked the vehicle. The victim's vehicle could be seen approaching the Chevy Silverado. The victim's vehicle parked next to the Silverado. A heavyset male exited the Silverado, and the driver's side door of the victim's vehicle opened. The heavyset male approached the driver of the victim's vehicle and appeared to speak to the driver. The heavyset male then got a towel from his vehicle and appears to wipe down the outside of the victim's vehicle door where he had touched the vehicle. Surveillance video appeared to show a third person throw the towel to the heavyset male. which led police to believe that a second person was inside of the Chevy Silverado. The driver of the victim's vehicle, exited the vehicle for a brief moment and sat back in the driver's seat. The driver did not match the description of the female victim or the male victim. The Hispanic male got out into his vehicle. The victim's vehicle drove behind the building where the vehicle was found on December 26, 2023. The Silverado followed the victim's vehicle. Approximately 3 minutes later, the Silverado was observed leaving from behind the building where the victim's vehicle was found. The victim's vehicle did not leave the location. It was believed the victims were already deceased in the vehicle at the time of the video observed. It is believed that the unknown driver and heavy-set male observed parking the victim's vehicle at the location in an effort to hide the vehicle. On January 2nd, 2024, your affiant provided one of the victim's cell phones to Detective Knox at the Technical Investigations Unit. On January 3rd, 2024, your affiant received the phone download from Detective Knox. Your affiant found that the victim had recently searched for the street of Charlie Chan Drive. Due to your affiant's knowledge of the crime scene area, your affiant was aware that Charlie Chan Drive was a couple of blocks away from the victim's vehicle recovery location. Your affiant was able to discover that the victim's vehicle pinged near Charlie Chan Drive and Gary Grant Drive around 23:50 hours on the night they went missing. The vehicle did not start moving again until around 23:54 hours. The vehicle then traveled to 5903 Danny K Drive, where the victims and the vehicle were discovered on December 26, 2023. Your affiant conducted computer research and was able to locate a vehicle that looked identical to the suspect vehicle seen on the camera with the victim vehicle. Your affiant did research on the owner of the vehicle and found the owner of the vehicle matched the description of the male that exited the vehicle on the camera. So this is new information because they didn't have this information on Christopher or Ramon's affidavit. So it says homicide detectives went to the vehicle location listed above and found the listed vehicle at the location. While at the residence on Charlie Chan, a person identified as Ramon Preciado reported knowing why SAPD was at the residence, which we know this part. Ramon informed SAPD detectives to speak with his son, identified as Christopher Preciado. Ramon Preciado and Christopher Preciado were transported to SAPD homicide to speak with your affiant, while additional SAPD detectives searched the residence on Charlie Chan Drive under the authority of a search warrant. Your affiant spoke with Ramon after Ramon was read the Miranda warnings. Ramon Preciado admitted to driving the Chevy Silverado to 5903 Danny K Drive, where he met Christopher. Ramon identified himself on surveillance video from that location as the person observed exiting the Chevy Silverado. Ramon reported meeting Christopher at his apartment complex, who was driving another vehicle. The vehicle is the vehicle in which Matthew, Guerra, and Savanah Soto were found deceased. Ramon admitted to assisting Christopher at 5903 Danny K Drive. Your affiant then spoke with Christopher, read Miranda warnings. Christopher reported Matthew and Savanah drove to his residence at Charlie Chan Drive to sell Christopher marijuana. Christopher went on to provide a version of events that were inconsistent with the evidence collected at the scene and from the victim's recovered vehicle. Christopher claimed the male victim pointed a weapon at him. Christopher was able to manipulate the weapon, resulting in the female being shot. Christopher then stated that the weapon was pointed at him again, and he manipulated the weapon again, resulting in the male being shot. On January 4, 2024, your affiant spoke to Myrta Romanos. Myrta stated that the night of the incident, she was at her residence, Charlie Chan Drive, with Ramon and Christopher. Myrta cannot recall the events of the night and stated she thought she was sleeping. Myrta denied knowing about the incident and denied being in Ramon Preciado's vehicle at 5903 Danny K Drive. Of course she did. Further investigation led to surveillance video being recovered from the defendant's residence. In the surveillance video, Myrta could be seen leaving her residence with Ramon Preciado on the night of the incident. Ramon and Myrta enter Ramon's vehicle and depart from their residence. Several minutes later, Ramon's vehicle entered the driveway on their residence. Christopher, Ramon, and Myrta could all be observed exiting the vehicle and entering their residence. The times observed corroborated the timing of events already known and showed that Myrta was with Ramon when he relocated to 5903 Danny K Drive to meet with Christopher. So their own surveillance cameras that they had outside of their home got them caught up. Your affiant has reason to believe and does believe the said defendant, Myrta Romanos, on or about 21st day of December 2023 in Bell County, Texas, knowingly concealed human corpse with the intent to impair is availability as evidence in an investigation in violation of Section 3709 of the Penal Code of the state of Texas. So here's just everything signing that they arrested her. So their camera footage caught them leaving. She left with Ramon, and then it shows all three of them coming back in the same truck. There was some other news that came out saying that it was her gun that was used. So basically, his story of saying that Matthew rolled up and, you know, pointed a gun at him. How would Matthew have gotten Myrta's gun? Like right as soon as he said that, I mean, that just threw his whole story away. Because that was her weapon. They already proved that the ballistics, like the gun shell casings that were found in the car, were consistent with the bullets that were in Myrta's gun. So she had said that she hid her gun in a cabinet, like in a gun safe next to her bed. But again, in this, we see she claimed that she was asleep. She said she locks her door at night and the gun safe is locked. So how would Matthew have gotten that weapon, right? Like that doesn't make any sense at all. So obviously their stories are lies. Let me read the comments really quick. Not that church, they're sick. Hi Adriana, I'm glad you could be here. I saw TikTok, Regina says, I saw TikTok where a forensic person describes them being shot in the car, and the reason there was no blood splatter was because type of gun bullet used explodes into tiny pieces and it stays inside. That's horrible. Did they finally correct the dates on it? I also heard it was her weapon. Yeah. Hey John, they say that on here. Hold on. I can make it bigger. So they had the 21st on here, the date that they went missing, right here. Was committed on the 21st of December, and then that they found the vehicle on the 26th. You know, if those dates were, I can't remember the ones that they had on Ramon and Christopher, so I thought they were the same dates, but. And yeah, it was her gun. So it's going to be interesting to see what they say once that comes out, now that now that Christopher's already opened his mouth about, you know, his story, as they didn't get the story right before they got questioned. They didn't get their story straight with each other. Did they live in Leon Valley area as well? I believe so. I don't know where Charlie Chan Drive is located. They had the wrong year on it. Oh, okay. Let me see. Oh, it looks like they have it corrected to 20. Oh, wait. December 2023. It looks like they have the right years on this one. December 23rd. Okay, and for everybody that's just entering, we were looking up something before because there's like news coming out now that Matthew's stepmom is being harassed on her Facebook and like her posts of the kids, saying that she deserved what happened to her stepson and to Savanah because she left their church. It was like the light of the world, La Luz del Mundo. church. They're saying it's like a cult-like church, and that they are making YouTube videos and stuff about the kids, and basically just saying like Matthew was in this type of lifestyle, and basically saying, alluding that they deserved what happened to them because they were living that type of life, which is just horrible. Like, the family's already going through enough and dealing with enough pain. They just buried them, and to be attacked like that is just wrong. I think it was on the signature part. Can't remember. Let me check. See, I don't know if y'all have heard that yet or looked into that. There's 2 documentaries on Netflix and HBO about that La Luz del Mundo church. That Michelle and Melinda were saying there's one on HBO, one on Netflix. So we'll definitely have to check those out. No, January 2024. I don't see the dates on here. Okay, let me bring back up Raquel's. Okay, perfect. The address only came up as San Antonio. Yeah. It was supposed to be something about the year was showing January 2023, and it was supposed to be January. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I got confused like that the other day. I said 2023 still, so. But yeah, on official documents, I definitely need to correct that. Okay, let me go back to Raquel's Facebook really quick. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me bring up her. Yeah, let me pull up her Facebook. Present. Okay. So this is when they made the 3rd arrest. Raquel was posting the updates on her page. Thank you. We needed to hear this after yesterday. And that's where they did her walkout. And I didn't get to go live right away when this happened. I definitely wanted to. But figured we could all look into it together. Where is Myrta? So I think there was a lot of stuff coming out saying that it was his stepmom, Christopher's stepmom, but Myrta Romanos is his biological mom, his bio mom. So there was like a lot of confusion with that. But I know the news lady that was showing the perp walk was saying that was his mom. So, I mean, they look just alike. Let me see. I wonder if she has Romanos. Oops. How to spell? San Antonio. This has to be here. Oh, right here. See, this don't look like the same lady to me, but neither does he. He don't look, but I don't know. I guess that's them, but this was from 2015, so yes, she looks different. So does he. Oh yeah, that's them. But yeah, this is her Facebook. This is all I'm able to see. I don't know which one of these is Christopher, but okay, let me share my internet thing. Let me hold on. I think it was on the affidavit that belonged to Christopher. Yeah, they both lost a lot of weight and age. Yeah, they look really different. Okay, hold on, let me share my internet. Oh, you know what? No, I bet they'll have it on their thing. And on Netflix, it's called, Michelle says, the documentary for that church cult thing says, on Netflix, it's called The Darkness Within La Luz del Mundo. So, well, any of y'all check that out, we'll definitely have to talk about that. I'm going to go watch that. That's scary. Savanah. Matthew Guerra case. Does anyone know if Savanah has had her services yet? I don't think they've done her services yet. It was really sad because somebody sent me a post, and it was Matthew's brother that said he got to see his nephew. So it sounds like they put the nephew with the baby with his dad, with Matthew. But I don't know if they like buried the baby with him in his arms or anything like that. But that's so sad. I hate that I'm glad that they got to see the baby, to see what the baby would look like, but it's just heartbreaking that the first time they see and meet the baby, he's not with us anymore. It's just absolutely heartbreaking. I can't even. Okay, and then Melinda says the HBO one about that church cult is HBO Unveiled, Surviving La Luz del Mundo. So we're all definitely going to have to check that out because this news is just coming out right now. I guess that they are harassing her and saying this ugly stuff for anybody that came in. They were just harassing Raquel and saying that they deserved what happened. Christopher Preciado flashing money he took from Matthew Guerra after unalive. Oh, look, guys. This is a video of Christopher. It looks like TikTok. Hold on. Y'all see this? Hold on. Let me turn off the music because I don't want to get in trouble. So somebody's saying, has anyone seen this video? Not sure how much is true or how much truth there is to this. It looks like Christopher's Facebook or TikTok showing that he took money from Matthew. They said, let's see. Adriana says, yes, they said the dad had said he looked like Matthew. Oh, that's so sad. So do you know if they buried the baby with Matthew, or were, I guess, going to do, oh, that's just so sad. Put him with both of them. Oh, that's so sad. And this is new. I wonder if that's true about him flashing the money that he allegedly took from Matthew after unaliving them. That's terrifying. How do we know it's him? All that flashing money and drugs is what led to this. People will rob you for $20 these days. I hope these young people learn and quit making themselves a target. This is a CapCut edit. Due to weather conditions, Savanah and baby Fabian's funeral has been postponed. Here is the update. So it looks like they postponed Savanah's service with the baby. Sunday, the 21st of January. Okay, so next Sunday, it looks like they'll be doing it. 4 to 5 family, 5 to 7 public, 7 p.m. rosary. Monday the 22nd, they'll be at the St. John's Evangelist Catholic Church. For anybody in that area, if you want to go, it looks like they are having it available to the public. That's so sad. It'll almost be a month after their passing. How long can they preserve their bodies for viewing? Baby Fabian, he's the reason his parents will get justice. All three will rest in heaven. If you gotta go out, do it in style for my brother and his baby. going to be showing out their outfits. Oh, I guess these are shoes that they made for Matthew. Savanah and baby Fabian on the shoes. That's so sad. Has anyone heard about CP and his dad's stay at the jail? Are they in general pop or protective custody? I wonder if other prisoners knows what they are booked for. Well, they'll find out soon enough. They're going to ask for those papers. Oh, is that Savanah? Yeah. Let me see where the volume is. It's sad. Okay. Okay, I was just checking to see if there's any other updates besides that other stuff that came out with the cult thing. Again, if you want to go to Raquel's Facebook page, she has a link of some ugly podcasting that they did on the case where where that church is talking about this case and saying all those ugly things. Here's her Facebook. No, that's not it. Hold on. Right here. Getting flowers for our daughter-in-law, Savanah, and our beloved grandson, Fabian. We should have been getting her flowers in the hospital after giving birth to Fabian. Instead, this is our reality, forever in our hearts. That's so sad. So here's where she's talking about that group harassing her. They made a video about them saying that she deserved what happened to them. I guess she used to be a part of this church, and they're saying all these nasty things. So if y'all want to look into that, and again, those documentaries on our Netflix and HBO. So I don't see any other updates. If y'all have any like videos or anything y'all want to say, I can pull someone up on the panel to do a live discussion. And then I do want to look into Nancy's case. It's Nancy Ng. She went missing going on a Guatemala trip with like a yoga. It's like called Hot 8 Yoga in California. The instructor was going with them. They went on a trip to go kayaking and go do like meditating, yoga and stuff like that in Guatemala. And they were going to a retreat, like a 7-day retreat. And they were, I guess it was a day soon. Everybody took off. They went kayaking. They said there was 10 of them that left, the people who rented the kayaks, and said that only 8 people came back. And hold on, let me see. Let me read these comments real quick, and I'm going to pull up Nancy's case. Let's see. So that's the biological mother. This stuff. It's Christopher's bio mom, is what they finally confirmed. That's sick, showing off blood money. Yeah, it is really sick. He was actually placed in his father's arms for this service. He will be buried with his mom. If they haven't been buried already, I know they had to cancel their service due to a family emergency. Oh, that is so sad. I did hear some morticians that have, had to take some of them. The family wants to see the baby, and so they'll put the baby in the mom's arms. And I'm glad that, Matthew got to hold the baby. I hate that it was in this way. It's just very heartbreaking, but I'm glad that they got to get some last pictures of them together like that. That's just so heartbreaking. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. And then I can bring anybody up. I'm just going to cover Nancy's really quick. For anybody that doesn't know about her case, it's then her name is Nancy Ng, and I thought we could just do some research together and look into it. I barely started looking into it like 2 days ago. So I'm getting like more familiar with the details and stuff, but she enjoyed doing yoga. She was a teacher. She helped kids who had mental disabilities, and she loved her job so much. But she had just gotten into yoga, and she wanted to, she joined this group called Hot 8 Yoga in California. They're all from California. And the yoga instructor, the yogi, is Eduardo. And they had all booked a trip to go to Guatemala so they could go kayaking, go do yoga over there, meditate. They say that place attracts a lot of yoga instructors and people, like group trips that go out there, because I guess for spirituality and like meditating and stuff like that. It's such a beautiful place. So they went out to that location for a 7-day retreat, and they went on a kayak trip. So again, 10 people went on this kayak trip. There is video footage of Nancy like leaving, and she looks so happy. She's waving at the camera, and they're getting ready to set out. The people that rent the kayaks said that they offered everybody a life jacket, but that everybody declined. They didn't want to take one. Mind you, this place that they went to, it is called, hold on, I gotta get the name correct. It's in Guatemala, and it's called Lake Atitlan, Atitlan, in Guatemala, Lake Atitlan. And it is like over 84,000 years ago it was created. So they said that it was a volcano that erupted. So there was like this big crater that was left behind, and it has water. Like that lake was created years, thousands of years ago. And it's one of the deepest lakes. It's known as one of the deepest lakes in South America. And it gets depth. They said it was like over 1,200 feet deep, 1,200 feet deep that lake can get. So very, very deep lake. And it's scary that I'm not blaming the kayak company, but it's scary that they would just let people decline a life jacket. I would make it that they have to take one. Even if they want to pull away and take it off, that's on them. But I would say that's a non-negotiable. How deep that lake gets, they definitely should have made that a requirement to have them wear life jackets. Let me pull up Nancy's information. So here's that footage of her where she's leaving. This is Christina, who covered this case. We can watch her short real quick.
Eddie and even Christina were reluctant. There are a lot of people out there that believe that there were involved in this retreat, and that's why the other retreat members like Eddie and even Christina were reluctant to call the cops. Okay. There are other people that believe that Eddie and Christina had it out for Nancy and that they did not want to help her, because as soon as Christina made it back to the shore, Eddie was allegedly already there waiting for Christina and immediately escorted her back to her room without even paying the kayak place. Then within 12 hours, they allegedly flew back to the US when they were not supposed to leave.
So what she's talking about right there, the group that went kayaking, again, there was 10 of them that went out, and then 8 of them get back to shore. And the instructor was one of the ones that made it back to shore. The kayak company said that they saw all 8. They look out into the distance, and there were still 2 kayaks out there, and that they said the kayaks belonged to Nancy and this woman named Christina. There was some discrepancies that I found in that part where they said Christina claimed she wasn't a part of this group, but she was a part of the group because she knew the yogi, the guy Eduardo that she just mentioned. So Christina said that she tried to make it sound like her and Nancy like really didn't know each other too well, that they just kind of came across each other in the lake, while the other group went kayaking together, and Nancy and Christina were on a different part of the lake, kind of doing their own thing. But she said that they just happened to cross paths with each other, and that it was a part in the lake where there is like the water gets deeper, and there's even like it looks like a change in color of the water. So she said that they were at that part, and that Nancy said she was going to jump in to take a swim, and that Christina told Nancy, I don't think it's safe to do that. Just I wouldn't. So she said Nancy jumped in the water, and when she jumped, her kayak got away from her, and Nancy was, trying to get her kayak back. Christina said that she reached around, tried to grab Nancy's kayak to give it back to her, but she couldn't. So she said she turns around again and tried to get the kayak. And when she reaches for it, she puts her leg on Nancy's kayak. Then when she turns around, Nancy's nowhere to be found. So so this is her story, but she came out with this story later. So at the time that this happened, Christina gets back to shore and doesn't say a word to anybody. And then while she hits the shore, Eduardo, the yogi instructor, the one of this that owns Hot 8 Yoga, is waiting for Christina. He helps her get out of the water, and they book it. Literally, they get back to their hotel. They don't even pay the kayak rental company anything. They get to the hotel and they book a flight back to the US a day early. So the kayak company, they don't even know that anyone is missing, because the instructor and all the other members of this kayak group never said a word. There was 9 other people. Nobody said a word. So they called the hotel that the group was known to be staying at, and the hotel manager says, this is like a day later. So they call and say, hey, we never got payment for the kayak trip. We're just looking for the instructor and anyone that was on that trip so we could get paid. The hotel manager says, well, they're not here anymore. They booked an early flight and they left. And these people are like, why would they take off like that? And they said, there's one person that's still here at the hotel. It's Nancy Ng. They go to Nancy's room. She's not in there. Her stuff is there, but it said that it looked like her stuff had been ransacked. Like there was stuff missing. I'm not sure how they knew that, but they just said it looked like things were just scattered everywhere, which is another part of the conspiracy. They're thinking that allegedly there was like they were taking things to make them hallucinate, like shrooms and other things on this trip, which I have no idea. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not until more comes out, but I just know that it's really suspicious that these people book it and get out of Guatemala and head back to the United States. So a month later, this happened in October 2023, when she goes missing, and the family cannot find her. She had told her brother the day before she left to Guatemala that she was going to turn her phone off, to get the full experience of being in this beautiful environment and, meditate, do all of that. So she's like, I'm going to unplug for the 7 days that I'm here. So everybody, nobody worried, because they knew she wasn't going to have her phone on. So they didn't worry until the day that she was supposed to get back, and she wasn't back. Nobody said a word to her. They did get a weird phone call from somebody. I think they have come out now to say that it was Eduardo, but he didn't give his name at the time that he called the family, and he said that Nancy was missing. Didn't give any other details, didn't say anything. They just said they couldn't find her, and he hung up. So the family starts raising awareness, asking everybody to please share, please help find her daughter. They get they have a GoFundMe, which we're going to go look at that, because they've been updating the GoFundMe consistently with this information. But they said that they got a rescue group and everybody to go help the rescue group. It's called Black Wolf Helicopters. They went out there to go search the waters. Mind you, this lake is thousands and thousands of feet deep. First of all, 1,000 feet deep, and it's huge. So they don't know where they should even start looking for her. They have no idea what area or anything, because again, the other 9 people that went on this kayak trip aren't saying a word. Why? Why is nobody speaking up? If it was a tragic accident and she drowned, why not speak up? Why not try to help the search group when you hear that they need assistance? Why are you not talking? So they send out a search crew. The search crew goes on boat, helicopter. They're searching the lake. They can't find anything. Finally, they end up finding her kayak, but a few things to keep in mind. She didn't have her rower, was not with the kayak. They don't know where that's at. So that's very strange. Which I know that can just float off or whatever if it wasn't on the kayak, but they find her kayak. They have no signs of Nancy anywhere. So this happened in October. They're still trying to search. They said they searched up to 95% of this lake with no luck. So a month later, Christina, the one that claims that she was the last one to see Nancy on the water, comes out, but she doesn't come forward. She has her lawyer come forward. Mind you, Christina is a public defender. So yes, it's everybody's right to obtain a lawyer. I get it. It is your right. But if it was an accident and you just happen to see her drown, first of all, why not say anything when you get to the land to tell the people, hey, this girl just drowned. We need to get help out there. You didn't say anything. Then you take off with the yoga instructor and y'all just leave. And don't tell Nancy's family anything when they were crying and pleading for help, asking y'all for help. Nothing. So it's just very strange to me that they didn't want to help. So she has her lawyer come forward and say that she did see Nancy drown and she was so traumatized by the situation. I'm not downplaying that. I'm not saying that it's not traumatizing to see somebody drown. I'm sure it's traumatizing, but can you imagine how her family feels? They're traumatized. They can't find their daughter, their sister, their loved one. They're traumatized. So why aren't you helping? Like, that's just so crazy to me, and it's very suspicious. I don't understand it. Why lawyer up? So let me share these pictures. I'm sorry, guys. I started going on a rant, but this case just very much so upset me. It reminded me, I know it's different circumstances, but the Shanquella Robinson case where she went on a trip with her family, for anybody that's not aware of that case, she went on a trip with her friends, and the footage comes out later where she got beat up pretty bad by one of her friends, and then they all come back to the US like ASAP. They say it was an accident, that she drank herself, that she got alcohol poisoned. So we all know that that's not true, but it reminds me of that case. Nothing is happening. It happened in another country, so it was harder for the family to get justice, and then for them just to turn around and say they couldn't do anything. None of those people in that group have been arrested. Nobody's been held accountable for Shanquella's case. So that's what this case reminds me of. Nobody's speaking out. The one that did speak out lawyered up for whatever reason. And it took the family making all these pleas for help in the public before the yogi instructor that was close to Nancy even came forward and said, oh, hey, we're going to have a visual for her at Hot 8 Yoga, because he was getting a lot of bad comments on their page, on their Facebook page. People are like, you need to come forward. They're looking for you and Christina to speak up. Y'all, nobody said a word. And there's this other TikToker by the name of Etch-a-Sketch. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. We'll look at his TikToks, but he's been covering this case from day one, and he's been doing really, really good coverage. I thought we could look at those together. He has a lot of information about her case too. And he calls out Christina because another crazy fact, they say that Christina, again, she's a public defender herself, but she has not been cooperating. And a weird fact, I don't know where that comes into play or what, but they said that she used to work for Weinstein, I guess. So when all that stuff came out. So I don't know, very crazy case, a lot of crazy details in it. So I thought we could go down the rabbit hole together. And okay, let me read some of these comments and then we'll go pull up Nancy's information. Regina. Okay, Melinda says, when we went to Florida, we all had to wear a life jacket on the boat and it wasn't even deep. Yeah, exactly. We went kayaking, me and Mark, Lake Travis in Austin. And I mean, it gets pretty deep, but it was like we didn't have the option to say no. They're like, you're going to wear them and that's it. So I don't know why, if a river or a lake would be over 1,000 feet deep, you wouldn't make them wear one. Like, that's just insane to me. Like, obviously that could come back on you. Like I said, if they make them wear it and the person takes it off, that's on the person. But for you not to enforce that is very scary. Regina says, if my phone dies, I'll be on as soon as I get a chance. I'll get a charge. How suspicious, no one calls authorities, and when they get back to the state, they lawyer up. This screams killer, and some of these yogis are practically in a cult. So who knows what really happened? Yeah, that's another theory that came out. So it's pretty similar to that. There was like something I heard about that. So we're going to definitely look into that. I agree, Regina and Nancy saw something they didn't want her to see. Yeah. Actually, Melinda, they did say that Eduardo, I guess a lot of people, when this story started getting out, nobody was really sharing it, and I hadn't even heard of it. So I started looking into it 2 days ago, and I'm like, this would be a good one to help spread awareness and go live with everybody and see if, we can find out more stuff about it. But they said that Eduardo, I guess some women were coming out and talking to that Etch-a-Sketch TikTok creator, saying that he was a creep, allegedly, that he just comes on to people pretty strong and he doesn't like taking no for an answer. But somebody said allegedly he came on to Nancy and she didn't want any parts of it. And he was like salty about that or upset about that. I don't know how much truth there is to that. Of course, everything we have to take with a grain of salt until we absolutely see concrete proof of that. But those are some of the things circulating, that he was a creep like that. And him and Christina are actually very close. So it was weird to me that Christina was like, oh, well, I didn't know Nancy. We just happened to cross paths on the river. But yet you get back to land and Eduardo's helping you get out of the water. I thought she didn't know them. So she's just very scary. I don't know what's up with all of that. As if everyone was in it or something. Yeah, exactly. In on it, Michelle says. Yeah, that's scary. There's 9 other people. If you take out Eduardo and Christina, that's still 7 other people that should say something. Why aren't they talking? Regina, do you have any pictures? Yes, I'm so sorry. I started ranting and we didn't. Let me pull up their, hold on. Let me stop sharing this TikTok thing. Oh, hold on.
Reluctant.
Okay, this is her. This is Nancy. She was 29. Again, they went on that Guatemala yoga retreat, and her family is just really wanting answers. This was on ID. I haven't seen this yet, so I definitely want to go look at this. What is this? Okay, October 19th, Nancy Ng, a 29-year-old from Monterey Park, California, went missing while kayaking during a week-long yoga retreat. She was attending on Lake Atitlan in Guatemala. It was Nancy's second year at the retreat, and she planned to relax on the getaway, and that has turned tragic. Reportedly, a few days into Nancy's trip, her family was horrified to receive a call from the retreat organizer, which again was Eduardo, informing them that Nancy had vanished. Since that call, her family has searched for answers about what happened that day, and unfortunately have been given very little information. Jonathan Ng, Nancy's brother, stated that he would leave no stone unturned in the search for his sister. In early November, footage of Nancy waving to a camera on the day she went missing was revealed. In mid-November, nearly 4 weeks after Nancy went missing, the family finally got more useful details when Christina Blasek, that's that lady, one of the kayakers who last saw Nancy, spoke out about the date through her attorney, G. Christopher Gardner. According to Gardner, Christina and Nancy met and chatted while they were out on the lake. He said Nancy eventually wanted to go swimming, although Christina warned her against swimming because of the rough waters and a good current. Nancy's family says they're grateful that Nancy's family says that they are grateful that one of the last people to see her has finally shared information about the circumstances surrounding her disappearance. However, they have more questions now. So they do have her GoFundMe set up, which again, we're going to look at that because they do update that. Hold on. Let me do Nancy and GoFundMe. Okay, let me go into the GoFundMe and I'll share my screen there. Present, share screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is the GoFundMe. It's still open now. So if y'all want to go to that, I just typed in Nancy Ng GoFundMe online and it'll bring you here. So they are raising money. Here's the updates that they've been putting on here. So it says, my name is Jared Lopez, partner of Nikki Ng, Nancy Ng's younger sister, and I'm organizing this fundraiser on behalf of the Ng family. Nancy Ng went missing at Lake Atilan, Guatemala on Thursday, October 19th, 2023. She's 29 years old. She loves yoga, traveling, hiking with her family, and cuddling with her cat. She has a kind heart, a big smile, and can talk to anyone about anything and often everything. She is a caring daughter, a loving sister, a supportive friend. With the help of Guatemala's National Tourism Assistance Program and some kind locals, we have mobilized search and rescue efforts. The purpose of this fundraiser is to help support these efforts as well as the Ng family as they navigate this unfamiliar, terrifying situation. It's never easy to ask for money. It's even harder under these circumstances, but any contribution, big or small, will go a long way in helping us do all we can to find Nancy and assure the Ng family that they are not alone. If you can donate, please do. And if you do, please leave a note or say a prayer for Nancy and her family. It will mean so much to them. As of now, the funds will be directed toward the following rescue efforts: helicopter search and rescue team, equipment for volunteer divers, boat rescue teams, potential use of submarine and sonar equipment, which they should be bringing in soon if they haven't already. They were going to look in that area for her to see if they could find her with the sonar equipment. Family support, travel expenses in the event they need to travel to and from Guatemala, financial support should the family members need to take time off of work. In the event that the search and rescue efforts are unsuccessful, the funds will be directed towards funeral arrangements. Any remaining funds will be donated to charity to be determined by the Ng family. Thank you in advance for your thoughts and prayers and support. We will keep you updated as we receive more news. So here's another update, right? They've been updating this pretty consistently. So here's the update that they put on the 12th of January. So just recently, 3 days ago, it says, today marks 12 weeks since Nancy's been gone. Every day that passes is surprisingly harder. It's setting in that this nightmare is our new everyday reality. In December, we went to Guatemala in hopes of getting some clarity on what happened to Nancy and where to find her. While it brought us some comfort experiencing the beauties of Guatemala that Nancy loved so much, hand-woven goodies, vibrant paintings, homey meals, stunning volcano views, boat rides, kind strangers, it felt like we were ultimately left Guatemala with more questions than we did answers. It was quite anxiety-inducing visit. The place Nancy was last seen alive, but we remained resolute in our goal to get justice and peace for her. Visiting Lake Atilan conjured up a lot of feelings we didn't expect. All wonder, sadness, anxiety, frustration, disbelief, determination, heartbreak. Before we left, we performed an impromptu ceremony for Nancy on the lake, where we read aloud my family's letters to Nancy, offered Nancy's favorite snacks and drinks to the lake, burned incense, and tossed roses into the water. It brought us just the tiniest bit of comfort. We were absolutely honored to meet the good people of Bruce's Legacy and Black Wolf Helicopters and thank them in person for their selfless work. How incredible is it that these compassionate human beings devote their lives to bringing closure to families during the darkest moments of their lives? We will be forever grateful. Speaking with them, we were able to learn more about the nature of the work and what they do. It illuminated just how bizarre and unthinkable it was that a witness to an accident was not actively helping search teams, which would be Christina Blasek. The helicopter company had come out on their Instagram saying that they have never had someone who witnessed an accident like that was not cooperating with them. They were themselves questioning, why hasn't she helped us to find the location where she allegedly last saw Nancy? So everybody, like, she's just, that all her actions are just very suspicious. Why she's not helping them, I don't know. But the helicopter company did call her out on their Instagram and just said, can you please come forward, help, give us a general location of where we can look for her, because she hadn't done that. So again, back to here, it says, for them in their 20 plus years of SAR expertise, it was simply unheard of. See, time and time again, we felt that the response to Nancy's alleged drowning from some retreat participants have been odd, disconcerting, and difficult to grasp. We completely understand that poor choices can be made in a moment of crisis and panic, but in the days and months ensuing this tragedy, not much has been done to rectify these actions. We want to reiterate that it is not too late. We are not giving up on the search or the investigation, and it is never too late to step in and help. As for the investigation in Guatemala, we were able to speak with the prosecutor in charge. Frankly speaking, we were quite disappointed with the progress of the investigation. At that time, the prosecutor had not yet confirmed with local police whether or not they ever took Christina's witness statement, despite his office being in the same building as the police station. This information is critical because while Mr. Gardner claims that Christina went and gave a full statement to the Guatemalan police, there is no record of this on file, according to the prosecutor. Even more, despite the multiple assurances that the international request to obtain Christina's statement was underway, the U.S. Embassy had not received any such request. It has been almost 3 months now, and we still have no official witness statement from the one and only witness, continuing to leave us in the dark about what really happened to Nancy. While the lack of urgency from the prosecutor was very distressing, it made us all the more relieved that we went in person to advocate for Nancy. We were able to relay all of our requests to the prosecutor, and we're waiting to get the latest updates from him. Moving forward, we will continue to push for a thorough investigation and explore the next steps in the search for Nancy. Coming back from Guatemala this time around, we collected and brought Nancy's belongings with us. Hopefully next time we can bring Nancy home. Thank you for those continuing to help us keep Nancy's story alive. Thank you for all of your contributions that made it possible for us to go to Guatemala. It's good to know that we're not alone in this. Wishing you all safe and wonderful New Year, Nikki. This is so sad. So here they just have some pictures on here of the organizers and people that were helping in the search rescue. Again, this is just sad. That's her siblings with the helicopter crew. I think it's called Black Wolf Helicopters. So you can see here's the non-active volcano. There's the lake. I mean, it's just such a beautiful place. It's so sad that this happened to her. And this was her second time visiting that location. So she was, she loved this area. It's just so sad that they're not getting any more information. But here's where they took off from. There's that footage that we'll look up where she's waving by. I think it's around this area right here where they set off. So look at how huge that is, y'all. And it's just, again, scary that they wouldn't make them put on life jackets. Again, it's not their fault, but it's just really scary that they wouldn't make them do that. Oh, see, that one just says life jackets not provided. I don't know if maybe it was like peer pressure. She saw everyone else not getting life jackets and she didn't want to, but let me see. Go back to the comments. Sorry, y'all. Okay, do you have pictures? Yes, we're going to look up more videos too. So sad. Why did none of the other friends, acquaintances, even notice she was missing or at least ask where she's at. Exactly, Adriana. I don't know why the other 7 people aren't speaking. Like, if somebody was missing in a group that I went with, I'm definitely going to ask questions and find out where they at. We all came together. We should be leaving together. And why book a flight a day early and leave and not say anything to the cops, not do anything? And that Christina Blasek lady said that her attorney said she gave a report to the cops there in Guatemala, and they have no record of that. So why are you lying? Why are you lying? Michelle says, I wonder if nobody reported anything because drugs were involved. Now it is possible for somebody to disappear underwater if they can't swim. Right. So allegedly they were saying, I guess, that they do take hallucinogens, that maybe that played a role. Maybe that's why her stuff looked like it had been gone through, because they went and collected the stuff and left. It just so reminds me of the Shankola Robinson case, because same thing with her. She had all her stuff there at that Airbnb that she paid for all of the friends. They went through her stuff, took things, and went to go stay at a different hotel until they could get on their flight to come back to the U.S. Like, it just is so similar to that case. Obviously, again, different circumstances, but they both deserve justice, and they both were surrounding themselves with these people who weren't really good friends at all. It's just so scary that you could trust people and this happens. Michelle, good point. Yeah. Melinda says, I wonder if it was like, you'll be charged too for the other 7, even though they might not have had anything to do with it. Yeah, I feel like they just all know something and were threatened. Maybe they don't know how the laws work, and they were like, oh, we might go down for it too, like an accomplice, or that might be the case. Holy Weinstein. Yeah. We're going to look at that. Christina, I guess she worked at the firm that was representing Weinstein or whatever. Really weird. So many weird things in this case. That's why I thought it'd be cool. Gotta go, guys. Adriana says, talk to y'all later. Thank you, Raina, for the updates. Keep us updated on Nancy case. Thank you. Thank you, Adriana, for being here. I appreciate it. I'm glad you got to make it. Okay, let's go to... Sorry, guys. Time flies when we're on live. Okay, let me go to that Etch-a-Sketch. He is really good, and he's going to give all those details about Christina. Hold on. Okay. If y'all find anything, let me know. We can look it up, because I thought it'd be awesome to go down this rabbit hole, not by myself. I'm always looking up cases on my own anyway, so I thought I'd do that with my little community of like-minded people. Okay, let me go to TikTok here. Okay, share. All right. Oh, let me go back. Okay, so here's that guy Etch-a-Sketch and his coverage of the Nancy Ng case. Let's go ahead and follow him, because wait a minute. Where's his page? Okay, because he's covering this case thoroughly. Okay. Can y'all see my Facebook? I mean, TikTok? Yeah, okay. All right. Oh, if y'all haven't, off topic, this is such a good show on Netflix, The Brother's Son. So good. Where's this stuff of Nancy? Here we go. Okay. So here's a late update. Let me see where he talks about Christine. Okay, right here. Let's see.
Let's talk about Christina Marie Blazek, the woman who was the last person to see Nancy Ng, the 29-year-old who worked with special needs kids in Alhambra, California, who disappeared while on a yoga retreat in Lake Adelan, Guatemala, while she was actually kayaking on the lake. And a few hours later, when only 8 out of the 10 retreat members decided to return back to shore, it was only Nancy and that other woman who decided to go further out into the lake. And we all know by now that that woman was Christina Marie Blazek, who was a public defender for San Bernardino County. Well, Christina finally came out with a statement through her lawyer. And Christina's lawyer, G. Christopher Gardner, came out with a bunch of statements on Christina's behalf, and let's go through some of them, shall we? And one of the first things Mr. Gardner wants to clear up is that Nancy and Christina supposedly didn't go out onto the lake together, even though they were the only 2 out of the group of 10 who decided to stay out on the lake when everyone else returned, and that they just happened upon each other. And allegedly, after just happening upon each other on the lake, Nancy tells Christina that she wants to go swimming in the lake, at which point Christina advises Nancy not to go swimming because the water is kind of rough and, quote, there is a good current. And then listen to what Christina's lawyer says that Christina said happened.
She kept one leg in her kayak and one leg in the other kayak and tried to get back to her. And got close to her. And then apparently she lost the kayak again, and she turned around to go back to get the kayak again. And when she turned back around, Missing was gone.
But if you take a look at this video that was taken moments before Nancy disappeared, you can see out into the lake, and it doesn't look like it's that rough. And even if you watch other people's videos of Lake Idle Land, you can see that the water isn't exactly still. It is a little choppy. And I'm not saying it can't happen, but I mean choppy to the point where she just turned around to grab her kayak and then Nancy was just gone without even being able to hear her struggling or screaming, yell for help, anything like that. And Christina's lawyer even said,
to say that my client hasn't done all she can is just not true.
Even though it took Christina almost 4 weeks to come forward, and then through her lawyer. And Christina's statement through her lawyer is the first time that Nancy's family is claiming that they heard anything from Christina about her account of what happened. I mean, listen to what Nancy's sister Nikki says.
If it is like she says and it's an accident, I don't understand how she could choose to leave my family in the dark for almost 4 weeks and not just say that from the start.
And apparently Christina did everything she could to try to help, even though Nancy's family attempted to reach out to her multiple times. The first time by giving out their phone number to the yoga instructor in charge of the retreat, who we know is Yogi Eddie, also known as Eduardo or Eddie Ramada. And then through other mutual contacts of Hot 8 Yoga, because almost everyone at the retreat was a regular of Eddie's class, specifically at the Pasadena location of Hot 8 Yoga, where he regularly advertised for his retreat. And even then, they couldn't get a response back for Christina. So they even sent 2 emails directly to her on October 25th and October 31st. And then Christina basically decides to DARVO, which is essentially a tactic of the guilty. And then Christina had her lawyer come out and state that she didn't come forward right away because she was so traumatized from the experience and needed time, you guys, because she's the victim. You know, even though that time is kind of the essence here because someone is missing. But,
Exactly.
you know, if that doesn't make you feel horrible for Christina because, you know, she's obviously the victim here. She then goes on to state that Nancy's family, after acknowledging that she's been through a traumatic experience, then go on to tell her that she needs to come forward to assist the authorities. And then that Nancy's family states that if she doesn't come forward, they'll make her come forward, which is really confusing because Nancy's family forwarded those emails to Eyewitness News, and they stated that those emails ended with the family stating that if she refused to cooperate, they would have to pursue the matter. And that's obviously not a malicious threat. That's literally what every person would feel like they would have to do when the only person who witnessed the disappearance of someone they loved refused to come forward and help for over 4 weeks. And even then, Nancy's family states that they just want to hear from Christina directly because they want to find Nancy. I mean, listen to what Nancy's sister Nikki even says.
I hope she could understand that we have no account of what happened.
I feel so bad for
because
them.
she's the only person that saw what happened and it wasn't included in the report.
And remember from previous videos when I stated that people from the retreat left Guatemala without even giving a statement? Well, listen to what Christina's lawyer had to say about that.
She went and was told she needed to go talk to the police. And she went and gave a full statement to Guatemalan police.
But remember, even the Guatemalan Attorney General's office stated that they were not able to interview the woman who was with Nancy or the tour guide. But the Guatemalan prosecutor's office stated at one point that the witness told them that she watched Nancy drown. But here's the thing. What I've been told is that the Guatemalan prosecutor's office stated that they don't have that statement filed, though. So did they take Christina's statement or not? Because listen to what they say on the news. This part that doesn't really make sense without knowing the context that they don't have the statement filed.
She's the only person that saw what happened, and it wasn't included in the report.
Blazek's attorney says his client has since spoken to the FBI after learning Guatemalan officials wanted to speak to her again.
And I get it. It's starting to get really confusing, and it's becoming a lot of he said, she said, and who do we know to believe? Do we believe the woman who didn't come forward for weeks until she was named in the media and then tried to reverse victimize herself by stating that she was threatened in an email but didn't show the email? Or do we believe the family who showed the email? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but Christina's lawyer, Christopher Gardner, well, this past July, here's Christopher Gardner's face. He was named and sued by his former female subordinates for sexual harassment and coercing them into sex.
This case just keeps
while
getting
he was
crazier.
working as a San Bernardino County public defender. And why does that sound familiar? Oh, right. That's how Christina and Christopher know each other, and just weird, the people that she decides to choose to defend her. And we're not talking about just lewd comments here. We're talking about Christopher used his position as a public defender to control work assignments for certain female employees as a way to obtain sex from his subordinates. And when the women turned down his advances, he allegedly assaulted them. I mean, one of his victims stated that she would keep asking him to stop, and then he would say that he would, and then immediately thereafter, he would just put her on another project where she has to report to him again. And she even tried to leave and transfer from that position. And these women complained to the public defender's office, and nothing would be done, and the problems would just persist. And he would literally, quote, make it known, either you sleep with me or you won't have a job. And these women rightfully argue that when they then have to comply because their livelihood has been threatened, it's not consent, it's coercion. And I don't know what this result might insinuate, but San Bernardino County settled with the women for $3 million, and Christopher Gardner settled to pay those women $40,000. So yeah, I'm sorry.
A good one
I
they
don't
settle.
trust your accounts or trust you because of your actions of not being accountable and the people that you're associating yourself with. And I also never stated that Christina or Eddie did anything. It's just their actions have been really suspicious. And just as a reminder, because Nancy's family has to fund the search for Nancy out of their own pocket, if you are able, please help them out. And please help us bring Nancy home. Let's talk about Christina Marie Blazek, the woman who was the last person to see Nancy Yang, the 29-year-old who worked with special needs kids in Alhambra, California, who disappeared.
Okay, so as you can see, he does like very thorough coverage of this case, but he, I don't know, their accounts of everything. It's just like, even if it was an accident, like, why are they not coming forward? Why did they leave a day early? So this is the same TikToker that the Eddie, the Eduardo, the yogi instructor guy, he actually reached out to Etch-a-Sketch, and he was mad at him because he said that he is making him look bad in public, that he's making his image look, bad. And he was like telling him, take down your content, don't talk about me like that, And he goes, and I have proof that I purchased my ticket ahead of time, and that my ticket was set to leave on the 21st when he left Guatemala. So he proceeds to send a picture to Etch-a-Sketch in a message showing the ticket, and he, with the same picture that Eduardo sent him, he finds on the ticket that the date he purchased the ticket was the day Nancy went missing. So he was trying to say, look, I've already had plane tickets to leave on the 21st, so you can just throw that story out that I left a day early. It was already planned for us to leave a day early. Caught him in a lie because he purchased the ticket to leave the next day on the 20th, and he just happened to leave that part, I guess, on the ticket. So yeah, the day that Nancy went missing, he purchased a ticket to leave a day early. So very suspicious. This guy's calling them out and just, again, doing really good coverage. So I'll go subscribe to his TikTok and look at updates on that. And Michelle says, and this was a yoga community. All of these people were in a yoga group. Yeah. Apparently it's called Hot 8 Yoga in California. Nancy had just joined them, I guess the year before, and they took a trip out there to go do a retreat. So it wasn't her first time out there, but she felt comfortable enough with these people to, go on this trip and have a good time. Let's see. There's
I have a couple of updates for you on Nancy Ng, and we finally potentially have some good news. Well, good news for us, potentially horrible news for Christina Blazing and Eddie Romano. So my contact at the search and rescue team called me last night close to 1 o'clock in the morning to deliver some of these crucial updates. And the first one is that the sonar search did commence. And if you remember, they brought in someone from America who has one of the fastest and deepest credentials of finding a body in a body of water. But he also brought one of the most sophisticated sonar machines available that can identify bodies and give a photo, but also they have an ROV that is able to retrieve the body from bodies of water that are significantly deeper than Lake Adelan. Which means that if the team is able to locate and find Nancy's body, and if there was any foul play involved with any of the people that was involved in this trip, then we probably are going to find out. And this sonar search is so critical to finding out what happened to Nancy Ng that 2 of Nancy Ng's younger siblings, her sister Nikki and one of her younger brothers Jonathan, are going to be in Lake Adelan this week for the search. I've also been told that both the search and rescue team and the sonar guy both separately emailed Christina Blazing and her attorney, as you can see from this email, asking them to cooperate to help them locate the last location that Nancy was seen to be able to find her body. And they didn't respond to either of them.
You see, and this was on the 16th, or 6th, I'm sorry, 6th of December when he posted this. This happened in October, and notice how they're still not cooperating. Why?
What are you so scared of, Christina? What you got to hide? Now, the next update is a piece of potential evidence that was found in the lake this week by the search and rescue team that definitely might not look great for Christina Blazing. And that piece of potential evidence is the paddle that was missing from Nancy's kayak that was found after she disappeared. And of the witnesses who saw the kayak before it was retrieved, all of them, except for one, stated that the kayak was found right side up with the paddle still in it, but the only person who stated that the kayak was found flipped upside down was the person who was driving the boat who actually found the kayak. And the reason why this is really important is because Nancy's kayak was found within 8 hours after she disappeared. And within that time, there were no storms or anything of that sort that should have been able to flip over her kayak. But the thing is, through her lawyer, Christina is stating that Nancy decided to go for a swim on her own accord, even after Christina advised her not to because the water was getting very rough. But the thing is, when you leave your sit-down kayak to get in the water, you don't take your paddle with you. In fact, you make sure your paddles is safe inside of the kayak. And at no point did Christina Blazing say anything about Nancy's kayak flipping over. And before you say something along the lines of, hey, Ed, the kayak might have flipped over at some point after Nancy disappeared, and then the paddle might have fallen to the lake at some point when it was drifting about this 12 by 16 mile lake. That's not what happened. You see, the search and rescue team didn't just happen upon this missing paddle. They went looking for it because they knew that the paddle was missing from the kayak, and they thought to themselves that it could potentially be a very important piece of evidence. And they in fact found it by using science, by analyzing the tides, the movement of the water on the day that she disappeared, and they found the paddle exactly where they predicted it to be using science and math, which means that Nancy's kayak didn't flip over somewhere along the lake somewhere else after it floated after she disappeared and the paddle flipped over and then fell into the lake. It happened right when Nancy disappeared, which again isn't hard evidence towards anything. And I'm definitely not implying that foul play was done by Christina, but it's starting to not look like it wasn't foul play. I literally have goosebumps right now because I went from thinking that we will never find out what happened to Nancy and that Nancy will never get justice to now being told that they have a machine that will definitely be able to retrieve the body. And I don't know. I feel a huge glimmer of hope for Nancy's family. And do you want to know how the sonar guy was able to bring expensive equipment that is going to be able to retrieve Nancy's body out of the lake? Because of these donations. So when people tell you that what you do on social media doesn't matter, fuck that. So thank you for showing the power of community. And now we just sit and wait, hoping that we'll finally be able to bring Nancy home, because this beautiful woman deserves justice. And I really hope we can get it for her. Stay safe.
That's so sad. Oh my gosh, that is amazing that they have that equipment to be able to go find her body, even if it's like really, really deep down. I had no idea that they had equipment available like that. I knew they had sonar, but not equipment to retrieve a body. That's very crazy if they find it and they see anything. Hey, Adrian. So right now we're talking about Nancy Ng's case. She went missing. They went on a yoga retreat for like 7 days. And like 10 people went kayaking, 8 came back. Another one finally comes back later, and they don't say where they leave, escape back to, well, not escape, but I say escape, but yeah, they purchased tickets to come back to the US a day early before their trip was due to end. Never tell anybody that Nancy was missing, that she ever made it back from the kayak trip. And this TikToker, Etch a Sketch, has been covering it very thoroughly. So y'all subscribe or go check out his TikToks about it too. He does really in-depth coverage on it. But he's just talking about that lady, Christina. She finally comes out a month later after Nancy goes missing in October. The lady comes out in November saying that she actually saw, from her lawyer, she lawyers up and her lawyer speaks for her and says, oh, well, Nancy went missing because she drowned in the lake. And the lady, Christina, has not said a word. She talks to her attorney only. And she has not given the family like a pinpoint location of where her and Nancy were when Nancy allegedly drowned. She did not help the search and rescue team. She still hasn't come forward. And as of the day of that last video he posted on the 6th of December, she still hasn't, her or the yoga instructor, Eddie, he goes by Eddie, his name is Eduardo, have not come forward to say anything about Nancy, like at all. So it's just really suspicious. Yeah, then waiting on that long report to report her missing, exactly. And not tell her family any type of answers or anything. Like, it's just really weird. But let me see if we can find that stuff where she is. I'm just worried if they do find her in the water. It's been a while. If there was foul play, that evidence may have been washed away by now. No, that's really true. Ugh. And it's just like, it's scary because I wonder if there's like any pieces of land where it looked like there was. What if she wasn't left in the water? Like, what if, I don't know. It's just so suspicious. Like her, I wonder where they found her paddle at. If it was by land somewhere, what if they use that and like there was foul play and she's like on land somewhere, not even in the water, and they just said that to throw the rescue off? Like, oh, I mean, yeah, being in water for that long, it's not going to help them find any evidence on her, especially this long. Just sad. Hold on, I'm just going to try to find, let me bring up my, what, no, hold on. And if y'all can, guys, I'll share her. I'm going to go back and add that to my Facebook post also, and on my community post on YouTube with that GoFundMe for Nancy Ng's family, because like he just said, it's helped them so much to, I mean, if we can't contribute, at least share it out. And that's helped them get a lot of the rescue people to go and use the sonar and the equipment that they need. Let me see if there's any other updates, because that was still a while ago when he did that last update. Hold on. When did he do this one? This one was...
I have a couple of updates for you on Nancy Ng, and we finally...
Okay, see, that was still on the 6th. So let me see if there's anything new. Holidays, that was still 12/1. So 12/6 is the most recent one he has up. These are older. And this was her sister. She was murdered as a sacrifice. What is this? Oh, look, there's that guy, Eduardo.
So I just received some wild information about Eddie Ramada, and it does not look good for him. But first, some of you had some questions about how they found the paddle that was missing from Nancy's kayak that was found after she disappeared. So remember when I stated that they used science and math to try to triangulate the location that they thought the paddle was going to be based off of where they think Nancy's last location was, along with where the kayak was found. So after that, they send out a drone to the area that they think it is, and this drone takes photos of what's underneath it, whether it's the ground, the lake, or whatever it is. And then when it comes back, they take those photos and they input it into this program that uses AI to look down to the pixel level to look for things that you inputted in. For instance, if you're looking for me right now in this moment outside and it took photos there, you would input in, hey, we're looking for an Asian male. He's about 6'1". He's wearing a black shirt that has this white print on it, whatever, whatever. And then that program looks down into the pixel level on these photos to try to find the information that you inputted in. And then it tells you, hey, you might want to go look in this, and this area because we found the thing that you were looking for that it could possibly be based on the pixels. So that's how these paddles were found. And for many of you that were like, hey, where is the actual handle for this paddle, the part that you actually hold on to when you paddle the boat? And what I can only tell you is that that part was also found, but because this is an active investigation,
oh my gosh, did y'all hear
that
this?
part cannot be disclosed to the public quite yet.
So the paddle that holds those two things together, I mean the pole,
and the sonar search is still currently
or they found
underway,
it, but they
and
can't.
Nancy's younger sister, Nikki, is actually going to be arriving.
So that pole that holds the two paddles together, he's saying that they cannot say anything further because it's an active investigation. That very much so makes it seem like foul play and that they did something with that paddle pole or something. That's
in Lake Adelan tomorrow to be there for the search. But because of the severe tropical storms that are happening in Mexico right now, it's sending severe winds to the Lake Adelan area. And the winds do not help when you're doing a sonar search, but don't worry, they are going to keep going. Now, moving on to Eddie Ramada. After one of the most recent videos where I divulged that Eddie Ramada had actually DM'd me the day that his name had been released to the public, he DM'd me this photo of his supposed plane ticket, and then I was able to find his receipt using the same information. Well, somebody reached out, created an anonymous profile just to reach out to me to let me know that they were able to access the United Airlines system and found a discrepancy in Eddie Ramada's tickets. See, this person was able to look through the system and find that Eddie Ramada was originally supposed to fly out on October 22nd. 3 days after Nancy had disappeared, which is confusing because he sent me these screenshots to tell me that he flew out on Saturday, October 21st. And we all know from the receipt that I found that Eddie Ramada purchased his plane ticket back home to the United States hours after Nancy disappeared on Friday, October 20th, which means that he originally purchased a round-trip ticket that was supposed to return on October 22nd. But would you look at that? On October 20th, hours after Nancy disappeared, he canceled that ticket and then continued to purchase this ticket on the 20th to fly out the next day on the 21st. All the while trying to manipulate us that he has proof that he's going to release.
So somebody that worked at United Airlines went anonymous, message Etch a Sketch and said, hey, I actually was able to access the system because they worked there. And they show that he canceled that original ticket to leave back on the 22nd when they were originally supposed to come back to the United States. And he purchased a new ticket to leave a day early. So again, suspicious behavior from him and from Christina. I don't know what Nancy saw, what, you know, they had against Nancy, but it's just looking very much so like Eddie and Christina are involved somehow, allegedly, in the disappearance of Nancy, and that it wasn't a drowning, in my opinion. Let's see. Amanda says, I'm sure there's going to be some signs through autopsy to identify or rule out specific things. Yeah, I hope that they're able to find her really, really soon to get as much information as they can. Hold on, let's finish playing this real quick.
Soon in the form of this ticket that he sent me hours later. Weird, Eddie. If you didn't do anything wrong, then why all of this weird manipulation, which, by the way, you're not even good at? So I would say it's your move next, but I believe this is checkmate. And even now, I am not implying that Eddie or Christina had anything nefarious to do with Nancy's disappearance. But again, innocent people typically don't do all of this just to try to prove their innocence. And Eddie, if you're watching this, and let's be real, we all know you're watching this, I say that you only have one move left, and that's to tell us what exactly actually happened. And again, not implying that you and Christina had anything to do with Nancy's disappearance, but I think it's time for you to switch sides and finally be a friend to Nancy like you're pretending to be in this picture, and be loyal to her. Because again, this is checkmate, and you're out of moves, buddy. You're in control of your own narrative. Help us bring Nancy home.
Wow. See, so I don't know, guys. This case is very suspicious. That's why I thought we definitely needed to help share, get it out there, and see what y'all think. Get y'all's opinions. We'll get one more, and then I'm going to pull
4.5 weeks after an American woman disappeared while kayaking in Guatemala, there are still no answers as to what happened.
Mi desaparición.
4.5 weeks after an American woman disappeared while kayaking in Guatemala, there are still no answers as to what happened. Local officials ruled that Nancy Ng drowned, but her family still has questions. And Lisa Guerra went to the lake where she disappeared looking for answers.
What happened to Nancy Ng? We're traveling across the globe to Guatemala, making the long journey by air, water, and land. Very busy road here in this village on the way to the lake, all in pursuit of answers in the mysterious disappearance of the California woman. Nancy disappeared on a kayaking excursion on Lake Atitlan. When we get there, the sheer immensity of the lake, said to be one of the most beautiful in the world, just blew us away. That final haunting video of Nancy was taken right there behind me, only about 20 yards away from where she rented the kayak.
The waves always come in about 11:30.
Elaine Beal owns the company that rented the kayak to Nancy and her 9 companions who were with her that day.
2 girls went further to the east.
She showed us on a map where she says Nancy and Christina Blazek, the last person to see her alive, were kayaking that day.
They kind of went out towards the middle of the lake, not the middle of the lake, and the accident occurred in the waters on the eastern shores.
We watched as a kayaker set out in that same direction, struggling in the choppy waters. What do you think happened?
It's just a tragic accident. They pushed off at about 10:45,
there they all go.
which was still calm. An hour later, the waves had started coming in. At that point, it's better to stay close to the shore than to experiment and go off.
I'm near the location where Nancy went missing. According to Christina, Nancy hopped out of the kayak to go for a swim. Christina says she paddled over to Nancy's kayak to hold on to it, to keep it from drifting off. But when she looked back to find Nancy, she was gone. We're planning to go back to the hotel. We're planning to talk to law enforcement. I called Nancy's siblings, Jonathan and Nikki, to update them on what we found.
And we're still hoping that more information will come in and that we can find Nancy and bring her home.
Nancy stayed at this hotel. The kayak rental company is right next to the hotel. One question for the family remains. Why wasn't Nancy wearing a life jacket?
So
The lawyer for the witness says that they weren't offered life jackets. Is that true?
That's not true. We give people the opportunity to take a life jacket, and for this group, they all said no to taking
And that
life
should have
jackets.
been
The kayak owner
non-negotiable,
showed us where they
in my
keep them.
opinion.
I have gone kayaking with Nancy before.
But Nancy's sister, Nikki, says it is her understanding that her sister was never given the option of a life jacket.
We went kayaking in New York. We were offered life vests and we both wore them. So I know for a fact that if they had offered it, she would have taken it.
A volunteer search and rescue team has canvassed the lake and shoreline by land, air, and water. But so far, there has been no sign of Nancy's body.
It's hard to determine what actually happened when we're hearing a lot of conflicting information.
The local police in Guatemala wouldn't comment on the status of the investigation. Christina Blazek, a public defender from California, insists she did everything she could to help and has fully cooperated with authorities, including the FBI.
We understand how this could have been very hard and traumatizing to witness, but we do have incomplete information and we need your help.
It was supposed to be an unforgettable vacation to a faraway yoga retreat where she could relax with nature.
Just looking through her photos from this trip, we can tell that she was really happy and really having a good time. And that brings me some comfort.
For this young woman, it may have become her final resting place.
4.5 weeks after an American woman.
Wow, it's just so sad seeing her sister and everybody cry. There was like some crazy comments on there, and like something that I had just said was, I was thinking in my head when Christina gave her account and said that Nancy fell in the water, and her kayak fell away from her, and she tried to get in. When she turned around, Nancy was gone. Like I know sometimes people, when they drown, it's like a silent killer is what they say. But I mean, you're going to hear splashing and stuff. And why not tell Nancy, grab onto my kayak while we get yours? Like, I don't know. It just, obviously it just sounds like BS in my opinion. Let's see. Okay. Regina says, I read that Lake Atilan is one of the safest lakes to swim in. Many scuba dive, and the most harmful thing in the lake is crabs. No sharks, piranha, or alligators. I doubt her body's there. Yeah, that's a good point. That's why I'm saying maybe there was like a piece of land or something that they hit her on if they did do something. Something would have floated to shore by now. Bodies don't sink. Yeah. I was trying to remember the girl from Glee that drowned in the Lake Pyra, I believe it was Lake Pyra, with her son, and she helped put her son on the boat, and she ended up drowning the Naya Rivera. They were able to recover her body. I don't know if they said that she was floating or not. I can't remember the details of that, but it kind of reminded me. It was like a large body of water, and she also allegedly drowned. But another scary thought, trafficking. Yeah, very scary. I didn't even think about that one. Melinda says possibly trafficking. That's what I'm saying. If they go to that location, and maybe that's why Christina doesn't want to give an exact location, because they know darn well she's not there. That's scary. And again, why lawyer up? But if anybody wants to come up on the panel and have a live discussion, I can send you the link in a private chat. I can pull like more than one person up so we can all like talk if y'all want to. You don't have to share camera. When you click on the link, it'll give you the option to turn your camera off and just share your audio, and it'll just have like a what is it, like a, not a thumbnail, but like your initial or something, kind of like Teams, if anybody's used Teams. But I can put the link in there, and if y'all all want to come up or one at a time, I'm cool with that. Let me see. I'm going to copy the link just in case, and we can discuss the updates in the Matthew and Savanah case or the Nancy Ng, and continue to look through some stuff. I still want to go and look for some other stuff, updates in Nancy's case too. Or discuss those documentaries that y'all saw on the La Luz del Mundo church thing. And anybody that's just coming in, went over updates on Savanah and Matthew's case. And there was an update that Matthew's stepmom is being harassed by an old church group. She's calling it a cult specifically, saying that they're harassing her and telling her that she got, basically, her and her family deserve what's happening right now, what happened to Matthew and Savanah, which is horrible. I don't know if they're upset that she left the church a long time ago, but she says that this church is basically a poor excuse for a church. They're not good people. They're very judgmental, and she posted on her Facebook, so we were looking at that. But if y'all want to discuss anything, or if y'all have heard anything, we can have a live discussion, or we can just keep looking for stuff to research in both of those cases. Let me see. What were we on TikTok? Let me see if they've done anything. Matthew and Savannah's. Update on Nancy Ng. Dive team inbound. Yogi Eddie lies again. This was on the 1st. Okay, this was 4 days ago.
All right, let's talk about Nancy Ng, who, if you remember, is a 29-year-old who works with special needs children in Alhambra, California, who disappeared while she was on a yoga retreat in Lake Atitlan, Guatemala, hosted by this man, Yogi Eddie, also known as Eddie Ramada, and was last seen kayaking out in the middle of the lake with Christina Marie Blazik, who is a public defender from San Bernardino County, who has not cooperated with the search to find Nancy Ng other than to speak with her lawyer almost a month after Nancy Ng disappeared, who the search and rescue team Black Wolf Helicopter Special Operations, who has conducted over 4,000 searches, has stated is the only witness who has not cooperated with the search for the missing person. And the main reason why there hasn't been an update in Nancy's search in the last month is because the sonar search team has returned back to the States for the holidays. But the search for Nancy Ng should resume again very shortly. And while Christina Marie Blazik had the privilege of spending her holidays with, honestly, I don't even know who would want to spend the holidays with someone who has a proven track record of, at best case scenario, leaving their friend who they witnessed drown behind to not even help with the search. Nancy's family, on the other hand, had to spend the holidays knowing that the search for their daughter and sister is on hiatus for the holidays, while still wondering where she is and what happened to her. In fact, during the holiday season, Nancy's family was busy packing up her apartment. And while cleaning up her apartment, Nancy's family came across this gift drawer where, since the beginning of the new school year, whenever she saw something that one of her students would love, she would buy it and hold on to them to give to them for the holiday season. And this drawer was filled with things like Play-Doh, Harry Potter socks, anime sweaters, toy pencil sharpeners. And Nancy's sister Nikki took those gifts to her class to be able to give out to her students. And to the two people that I know for a fact are watching this, I want you to know that's the kind of person Nancy Ng was. And in the comments, there are people who knew her, like her coworkers, who described her as a ray of sunshine that was loved by everyone.
Oh, let's see what her coworker said. It says, I'm one of Nancy's coworkers. I walked past you yesterday as you were talking to someone else. I wanted to stop and give you a huge hug, but didn't want to be rude. Nancy is such a ray of sunshine at our school. She is truly loved by our staff. That is so sad.
Who described knowing Nancy Ng?
I met Nancy her very first day. We were both new and were grouped together for orientation. Then I got the chance to work with her at a school. Knowing her, really a privilege. Positive thoughts.
Whose only mistake was sharing her light with the wrong people. And for those of you who care enough to help keep Nancy's story alive, that we can continue to get coverage for her and eventually hope to lead towards justice, thank you. Because this beautiful soul and her family not only deserve to be reunited, but to see justice this year. Be safe. All right, let's.
Goodness, that is so sad that she was saving little things for her classmates, for her little class. I'm going to look into these cases on TikToks later. Let me see. Hold on. Is it Raina, is there anyone you would like to have up there? I know for sure Vicky Valdez has always had some really good points. I don't want to volunteer her. I will definitely go up, but I know that everybody has questions or made comments, and I really would like to hear their input. Yeah, for sure. Adrian says, I'm going to look into these cases TikTok later so I can learn more about Nancy. I have to take one of the kiddos to the Y. Okay, bye, Adrian. Thank you for coming. Regina has had some really good input as well and has done some research. I would love to hear what she has to say as well. Yeah, whoever wants to come up. We can, I mean, I can pull a couple of you up at the same time and we can all like have a discussion. So it doesn't have to just be one at a time. And just test this out. Because again, it's like, this is my second time using StreamYard, but I love it. I love to be able to interact with everybody and do a live discussion. I think that'd be awesome. So yeah, whoever wants to, I can send you all the links. Hold on. Let me just send them just in case. I don't know. That says private chat. I don't know if it did it to everybody. Hold on. Oh, cool. I can have look, I'm just now I can highlight y'all's comments. Okay, I didn't know I could do that. See, that's why I need this practice. Yes, Michelle, what is your question? I don't know where I sent this link. I put it in the private chat, but I don't know where it went. I can put it in the main chat. It's not like there's a lot of people in here anyway. Fine. Even if random people just click on it, it doesn't matter. Okay, if you'll click on the link, even if you're on your phone or desktop, laptop, whatever, it'll let you follow the instructions and you can get on. You don't have to share your camera. What organization or company did this search or is going to do the search? I know Black Wolf Helicopters was one of them. Okay, y'all, mommy duties await me. Everyone have an amazing night. Thank you, Raina, for all the info. You do great research. Thank you, Regina. I'm glad you came by. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, so let me go to Instagram because there was Black Wolf Helicopters. Oh, there you are. Hold on. Let me add you to the stage, Michelle. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can y'all hear me?
Okay. Yes. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Hope everybody's doing good on this cold day. Good God.
I know. It's freezing.
I had a few questions, and I know that it gets, the chat goes and everybody moves on to something else. But do we know the name of the organization? And I should have looked it up. Of who is doing the search for her? Is it Texas?
Yeah, I actually want to look at that. I don't know. Let's see if we can actually go find it because I know the helicopter one is a search and rescue group, but they were just the ones that were looking in there with the helicopter, not the sonar. Let me see if we can find who that is. Hold on.
Okay, and while you're looking, one of the people that I would love to hear from, I mean, everybody in the chat, from what I see, I want to hear from them too, just because everything, they make it so interesting. But I know that Regina and Vicky always have really good points. So I'm hoping that, I think Regina was on her way out. But if Vicky's still on, I'd love to hear her input on a few things or questions that she may have
Vicky
too.
always has some good links and she looks up cases all the time.
Yes.
Let me see. Yeah, and it's pretty cool because the thing we can have multiple people on there on the live on the panel.
Yeah.
Hold on. Help us find Nancy and support the Ng family. I'm trying to see. I don't know if y'all can see my screen. Okay, this is on Reddit. I'm trying to see if it has a name. Oh, this is just a GoFundMe. Bella, why'd you sneak in here, girl? Is it still showing the... No, it's not. Sonar. Search.
And I will say this for anybody who wants to be on but doesn't want to be seen. All I have is just one sticky on the where the
yeah, and you can turn your camera off too.
Yeah, I just
You
turned
just
it.
click it and it'll turn it off.
There's no reason I'll just suffer through that, so I just covered it.
I have to get ready before I come on. Has she been found? See, I don't know. They're not saying who that I can find right now. Let me see. Let me go to Google. Who is the search group? Finding Nancy.
And the reason I ask is because I know that the Texas EquiSearch, they do amazing work.
Oh, they really are amazing. I wish they would get out there, but I know like this sonar stuff is like, it sounds new. I've never heard of one where they can see like a 3D, what did they say? A pixelated image of them before they are able to pull the body up.
The reason I'm saying is because I was looking at, I'll go back and look at old documentaries, and I happen to I just put them on for noise while I'm working on other stuff, because sometimes I think there's other stuff that I pick up on that I wasn't paying attention to. And I don't know if it was the Lacey Peterson or the Kaylee, the little girl, what was her name? Anthony.
Oh, Kaylee. Anthony.
I can't remember who of the two, whether it was the mom or if it was Scott Peterson. I know there are two different cases, but the EquiSearch literally billed them for the expense and everything after.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say it was Scott Peterson. Like they went back and charged them for everything they had done to find.
Oh, like out of their restitution or added to the oh wow.
Whoever's responsible, they they can do the same to them.
Well, hopefully they do that with this one. So I found this article. Let me share. It's still saying that Black Wolf Helicopters owner Chris Sharp searched 99% of the lake. That was with helicopters, drones, boat crews. Sharp said the terrain, coupled with lack of information, has oh my gosh, sorry, Bella came up here. Search effort, Sharp said. Angie's family said this was her second year going on the retreat. The family shared video that apparently shows Ing hours before she vanished. So I wonder if it's that helicopter group, but it sounds like they just only do the helicopters.
For search for a Southern California woman who disappeared in Guatemala. The family of Nancy Ing says she has been missing for more than 2 weeks after attending a yoga retreat. The woman's family says extensive searches have now been done near the lake where she was reportedly last seen.
And tonight we have new information on the investigation. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter is live in Alhambra with what family and rescuers are now saying. Leanne.
Jory and Michelle, there is growing concern for Nancy Ing's well-being. A rescuer who is helping with search efforts says he believes this case is now turning into a criminal investigation.
See,
my biggest fear is never seeing her again, obviously. I just want her to come home.
A mystery thousands of miles away after a Monterey Park woman disappears while on a yoga retreat in Guatemala.
I miss my Nancy very, very much, and hope the government help us find an answer and bring her home.
Nancy Ing's devastated family desperate for answers. This was Ing's second year going on the retreat. October 19th, days after arriving in Guatemala, the organizer called the 29-year-old's family to say something happened to her. Her family was told Ing, who works for the Alhambra Unified School District, was last seen kayaking with others from the retreat.
That is so sad. Those interviews with her family, just heartbreaking.
That's horrible. I think the one thing that I see in common with the case that you were talking about with the
Shanquella.
Yeah, it's like for some reason you do something in another country and it is really to get people to be made accountable. hell, it's hard enough here in the United States.
Yeah. Yeah. And when nothing gets done like this, it almost kind of shows everybody like, oh, wait, look, you can do this over there and nothing's going to happen to you.
Yeah, that's what scares me. I wish Monica was, I don't know if she's still on. I don't know if she left already, but just one of the fears of being out of the country.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's terrifying.
But now, so did anybody else has anybody volunteered or?
I don't think so. I think a lot of people have left the chat now. I didn't even realize it's been over 2 hours. It goes by so fast when I'm on here researching cases with everybody.
Yes, it does. But you can, I don't know if Melinda would, because I know Melinda, I don't know if she saw that Luz del Mundo. I did see documentary going back to that case. Now, if his mom was a part of that church, I can't even tell you, because the documentary goes into it. It does talk about God, and to me, it reminded me a lot of, it's one person that sits at the very top, and this person is supposed to be godly or godlike, and it almost reminds me of like the Warren, like all of the people that were here in El Dorado.
Oh.
It kind of follows that, to where you have this one person that's supposed to be the closest to God. And what happened was, these men were, yes, they had their wives, but they would pick out young girls. And I think they were as I think 8-year-old, there was an 8-year-old that was basically told, and they had these women that also went to prison, and they were grooming them already. These women were preparing these girls, telling them how they were the chosen, and how this was God's will, for them to be with these men. And so that's how these men finally landed in prison, because one, I think a few of them came out and they talk about it on the documentary. But I think, other than the judge giving the man a stern, kind of like everything, after he did all of this to these women from the age of like 8 up, he didn't get too much time in prison. There were some other people that got in trouble, and the church continues to have allegations of grooming these young girls.
Oh, that sounds like one I watched on ID, also called Pray. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to pull it up. It's on ID Discovery. If you have the Discovery app and you have ID, it's on there. But I'll pull up the title. But basically, it was like all these pastors in different states. They all, it's like I don't know if it was the LDS church or whatever. But it's they're in different states, and they have all these pastors that are doing things to young girls. And then, instead of, like, whenever the young girl would speak out, instead of calling the police, making a report, getting this person in trouble, getting the pastor in trouble, all they would do is keep it within the church. Bella, get over here. Sorry. They would get the pastor and send him to a different state, to a different church. And he would just do it again. He would victimize other people. And it's like, these churches, it seems like that's the case. They all cover for each other, so they don't have a bad image. But that one was really kind of sounds like all this stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna have to check out those documentaries on Netflix and HBO about that. And see.
I think that when you do, or when anybody does, because it disgusted me. If there is a belief, and people believe, everybody has a different belief, whether it be God, a higher power, Allah, whatever it is. But when you have that, and you take that, and then you use that for your own, I don't know, twisted pleasure, to do something else, that's where you start having this breakup between people in church, because they start associating, well, this is what the church does, or this is what they believe in, which is exactly what Matthew's mom is saying. How can you speak on his life, on his way, when look at what y'all have been doing and continue to do? It's like, from somebody on the outside that has seen both, it's like the pot calling the kettle black, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
They would have no.
And that's what she was saying. She's like, have the basically like the audacity for them to speak on him when they don't even come forward with accusations of people that are pedos in that ministry or whatever. Which I mean, that's always the case. It's horrible.
Yes, we were in San Antonio this past week. It was a day trip. We actually left the night before, and there were so many tributes and going on for them, just remembrances and stuff with
That's
little
so
shops and stuff. I think one of the questions that I had was, did everything take place in Leon Valley? I think they lived in Leon Valley, but my question was, did that Christopher Preciado, did they live in that area? That's one thing I want to look up because
I think Belinda said when she looked it up, it came back just in San Antonio. We can check. Let me see.
I don't know if I should.
Carly Chan Drive? Carly.
Where's Vicky and her amazing searches? I can't see if
she's really good.
Yes.
I know. I think they might have left the chat already. Charlie Chan Drive just shows San Antonio, Texas.
Okay. And this is just for your purposes on my end. The only thing that I can see is, of course, my square that is gray. And it just says everyone can see and hear you, but I cannot see if anybody's saying anything or if there are any questions.
Oh, yeah, no, just Melinda. Wait, your browser is blocked. Oh, okay. It says just Melinda just saying that she started watching it, but she hasn't finished it. The documentary, I guess, on HBO about the church cult thing.
Okay.
Let me share my screen for Facebook. Hold on. Because I wanted to go back to Raquel's page. No other updates, but I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this thing. Honestly, I don't even want to give them a listen. It sounds like they were already just starting out saying ugly things about them. So
yeah,
it's so sad.
I wouldn't. I wish. I would definitely, if that were me, I wouldn't put it up on there only because. Oh, thank you, babe. Yeah, it is cold. Because I'm thinking, if a person that doesn't know the reality of who they are and what they do starts listening, and they're like, oh, well, I need to change my life. Not with them, you don't.
Oh. Stepbrothers of Love came out. Me and Matt's dad saw the preview and we said, we got to see this. They had so many similarities. Matt and Eli even sleepwalk. Matt always looked up to Alex, the oldest. I remember when Eli was about to sit in the same ride as Alex, and Matt said, no, I got to sit with Alex because my dad said. Oh, that's sad. That's his little brothers.
Oh. Yeah,
that's also good for their families. What is this? Big thank you to family and friends in public that donated. Oh, the funeral expenses. And she put up all the receipts and everything because people are saying ugly things. Sad. Well, definitely if we see any more updates, we'll jump back online.
They did also live in Leon Valley. I'm looking at a clip from Newsweek, and it says Leon Valley suburb of San Antonio. And I know that suburb only because we go to San Antonio often, and in that particular area, there is a restaurant that we frequent, and it's a little hole in the wall. It's a Chinese food restaurant. And it's so good. So whenever we go or we make these type of day trips, we do go by there. And so I am very familiar with that area. I've not seen, never have we seen any, you know, to where like, oh, wait, what side are we on? There are some areas where, you know, you have to be more careful, but in this area, no. I mean, I hadn't seen anything that
Yeah.
would maybe make us think, okay, we need to stop coming in here. That's why I was curious to see if everybody lived in that area, but it seems like they did. Everybody was in Leon Valley.
Oh, okay. How far is that from like?
It's in San Antonio. So San Antonio is broken up into areas. You have like Dominion Ridge, you have the medical center, and then you have, it's kind of like here where you have Southland, you have, you know, then you have the South Side, you have San Marino,
Yeah.
areas like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like a
So
separate little city. It's just like an area.
yeah, it's just an area, but just with as big as it's getting, and we have more and more areas, that is an older one, and we've definitely been in that area, through that area, and I was curious if all of the people involved live there, and I guess they did.
Oh man. Well, yeah, if there's definitely any updates, we'll hop back on live, but I appreciate everybody coming by. I know everybody has to get back to everything. I didn't realize how fast time went, but thank y'all so much for stopping by. I had a good time going through everything with y'all and going down rabbit holes with everybody. It's just nice to have a little community. I know it's small right now, but just like-minded people looking into cases the same way that I do, and you know, getting these cases out there and helping. At the end of the day, that's the goal. So
yeah,
no matter how big my community is right now, like we're hoping to get cases out there, and I appreciate y'all's time for being here.
No, thank you so much, and thank you for,
like Dallas, Melinda says.
What did she say?
She says like Dallas, Oak Cliff, Pleasant Grove, like the different areas, I guess, like how San Antonio split up. Okay. And that's the Dallas area. Oh man. Well, I hope those people leave her alone, but we'll definitely have to go check out those documentaries on that place, and hopefully they just back off of her and leave her alone. They don't deserve to keep getting told ugly things like that. They just buried him. Like just let them be.
Yeah, she they definitely need to look at that. But thank you so much for having me on, Raina, and
thank you again for coming up. I appreciate it.
To the next live. Thanks.
Okay, we'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good evening, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. But if you can, go watch this TikTok sound again on Etch a Sketch. He covers Nancy's case really well. I'm going to continue looking into her case for any updates. So if there's anything, we'll come back on live. The next case I'm wanting to cover, I'd originally made a video, but I talked to the victim's mother. His name is Teron Evans Jr. So I did take that down just out of respect for her to get, I told her to please let me know if she wanted me to add anything or take anything out, that I definitely would. So I'm going to get with her and I will go ahead and cover that on a live so we can look into Teron's case and go on her link tree. She reached out to me on TikTok and asked if I could look into her son's case. So I thought that'd be a good one to look into and go over with y'all as well, so we could help get that case out there and help Miss Backstrom get her son's name and face out there. But again, I appreciate all of y'all's time for being here. Y'all are the best. And I hope y'all have a good evening and rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye, y'all.